Number 6. CIA's quest for mind control. In 1953, during the early days of the Cold War, the CIA approved Project MK Ultra, a top secret program to develop mind control techniques. The goal was controlling human behavior for use against Soviet and communist enemies. The CIA purchased the world's entire LSD supply for $240,000 and began dosing people without their knowledge by distributing it to hospitals, clinics, prisons, and other institutions, asking them to carry out research projects to find out how LSD could be used as a tool for mind control. Prisoners, including the infamous mob boss Whitey Bulger, were given LSD for months. One mental patient in Kentucky received LSD for 174 consecutive days. They even experimented on their own when CIA scientist Frank Olson died after being secretly dosed and falling from a 10th story window. There was even an operation called Midnight Climax, which involved CIA agents hiring prostitutes to lure men into safe houses, then dosing them and filming everything from behind two-way mirrors. The program was exposed in 1975 during church committee hearings. CIA Director Richard Helms destroyed most MKUltra records, but luckily enough survived to prove it actually happened. Number 5. Racial injustice of the Tuskegee syphilis study. In 1932, the United States Public Health Service began a study in Alabama to observe untreated syphilis. They recruited 600 black men, 399 with syphilis, and 201 without. The men were not informed of the study and were incentivized with free health care, but they were never told they had syphilis. By 1943, penicillin became the standard cure and was widely available, so they deliberately withheld the treatment to continue the study. For 29 more years, they watched the men suffer and die just to document disease progression. In 1972, Peter Buxton exposed the study. By then, 28 men had died directly from syphilis, 100 from related complications, 40 wives had been infected, and 19 children were born with congenital syphilis. In 1973, a class action lawsuit was filed, resulting in a $10 million settlement. A year later, President Clinton issued a formal apology in 1997. It's mind-blowing that this was less than 60 years ago, and you can get a glimpse and understanding of the generational trauma and racial injustice in the Black communities that runs so deep. Number 4, FBI's war on activists. From 1956 to 1971, the FBI ran the counterintelligence program to disrupt domestic political organizations. The FBI director ordered agents to expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize movements he deemed threats. According to FBI records, 85% of resources targeted civil rights groups like the Black Panthers, the American Indian Movement, and anti-war activists. The FBI infiltrated organizations with informants to spread disinformation, create internal conflicts, and harass leaders with illegal surveillance. They sent Martin Luther King Jr. an anonymous letter suggesting he commit suicide before receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, and attempted to blackmail with recordings of alleged affairs. The program was exposed in 1971 when activists broke into an FBI office in Pennsylvania and leaked classified documents to newspapers. Congressional investigations in 1975 confirmed the FBI had conducted domestic espionage and psychological warfare against American citizens. The counterintelligence program officially ended, but similar tactics continued under different names. So the government considered peaceful protest a threat worth destroying with infiltration, blackmail, and harassment, and probably very likely they still do. Number 3, the government is spying on you. In June 2013, former NSA contractor Edward Snowden leaked classified documents exposing global mass surveillance programs. The NSA was collecting phone records of millions of Americans through a secret court order to Verizon. PRISM, a program revealed in the leaks, allowed the NSA to collect data directly from tech companies, including Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Apple, and Yahoo. The agency was monitoring emails, video chats, photos, and stored data without individual warrants. The NSA's X Keyscore program let analysts search through databases of emails, online chats, and browsing histories without any authorization. They were collecting metadata on who you call, when, for how long, and from where. The NSA operates on 3 degrees of separation, meaning if you know someone who knows someone who knows a suspect, your data gets swept up. According to the Electronic Frontier Foundation in 2016, government agencies sent over 49,000 requests for user data to Facebook, over 27,000 to Google, and over 9,000 to Apple. Cell phones, laptops, smart home devices all feed into what the NSA calls a pattern of life profile. They're not just watching terrorists, they're watching you. Every text, every search, every location ping is logged. Privacy is an illusion. Number 2, the US government investigated UFOs. From 1947 to 1969, the United States Air Force were secretly investigating UFOs under Project Blue Book. They analyzed over 12,000 reported sightings, and 701 remain officially unidentified to this day. The Air Force concluded UFOs posed no national security threat and shut down the project. But in 2007, the Pentagon started the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program to study unidentified aerial phenomena. The program operated in secret with $22 million in funding until 2017, when major newspapers exposed it. Military pilots reported objects performing maneuvers that seemed to defy physics, moving at hypersonic speeds with no visible propulsion, making instantaneous directional changes that would destroy any known aircraft. In 2020, the Pentagon released 3 Navy videos showing encounters. In 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a report on 144 UAP encounters between 2004 and 2021. The United States government has been tracking UFOs for over 70 years and still can't tell you what they are. And since then, they've openly formed the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force in 2020, and now its successor, the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, that was established in 2022. Number 1. The United States government funded human radiation experiments. From 1944 to 1974, the United States government conducted thousands of human radiation experiments without informed consent. As the Manhattan Project developed nuclear weapons, researchers wanted to understand radiation's effects on the human body. They injected plutonium into hospital patients without telling them what it was. They fed radioactive materials to mentally disabled children at a state school. They exposed prisoners to massive doses. They released radiation into populated areas to study dispersal patterns. The Atomic Energy Commission, the Department of Defense, and the National Institutes of Health funded these experiments. Over 4,000 experiments were conducted on American citizens. In 1993, the Secretary of Energy, Hazel Reed O'Leary, declassified and revealed the program's existence. Investigations found that researchers rarely obtained informed consent and targeted vulnerable populations, including prisoners, hospital patients, and children. At least several hundred uranium miners died of lung cancer after being exposed to radon while the government studied them. Some experiments involved releasing radioactive iodine over Washington and Tennessee. President Clinton apologized in 1995. The government used its own citizens as radiation test subjects for 30 years to advance weapons programs, science, and national interests in defense. Think about that next time they say that the government has its people's best interests. Thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe to see more.